But it is also important to make sure that the platform you use to capture these systems and processes is fit for purpose. Hi, I'm Beth Beesky, the founder of More Time to Design and your host of the Design Dialogues podcast. I've been a designer for the last 12 years and I've run my own studio for 5. And I know how hard it is to run a successful business. You not only need to be great at designing, but you need to be great at all the other things as well. I created More Time to Design, a software platform to help designers run efficient studios, and I've created the Design Dialogue podcast to help us all learn together. Each week, we will meet professionals who are at the top of their game doing things that help us run our studios. We'll have conversations with social media managers, interior design mentors, copywriters, stylists, photographers, suppliers, and also designers who have been in the game for a long time and who have such a wealth of knowledge to share. I hope that each week you feel inspired and informed at the end of each of our design dialogues. So join me for the Design Dialogue podcast. Would you like to do things a little differently in 2024? Have your business organized and streamlined and feel like you are in control of your business, not that it is in control of you? I would love for you to take the time to book in a demonstration or start a trial of More Time to Design. MTTD is a cloud-based studio and project management platform that allows you to run all the elements of your design business in one place. Time tracking, calendar management, to-do list, client schedules, QR codes for all your builder schedules. Keep track of your inquiries and lead management. Keep track of the financials of each project so that you know you are always making money, and so much more. Follow the link in our show notes to start your free 30-day trial or book in a demonstration so the team can show you how you can organize your day, your desk, and your studio with More Time to Design today. Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to episode 28 of the Design Dialogues. This week's episode of the Design Dialogues podcast is a solo with Beth episode. I want to talk to you this week about the things you might find when you're implementing a new system in your business. It is usually a time of the year when we might reflect on things that haven't been working well in our business or things that we might want to change and do differently. Quite often that process can mean that we have maybe moments of frustration or doubt, whether or not it's worth changing, or it might be that you are really busy and you just want to get on with the work. It can be hard sometimes finding the time to work on your business rather than in your business. I want to tell you a little story to start with about my journey over the last 12 months with finding a system for my social media. Now, I'm sure like a lot of you, I have a real love-hate relationship with social media. And towards the end of last year, I really dropped the ball on it. I have done some wonderful training with the Digital Picnic, and all through October, I was very enthusiastic to get on top of the generation and organization of my social media posts. I would have a good week and schedule out all my posts, and then something would happen and I wouldn't get around to it. The wheels would fall off and then there'd be a couple of weeks of scrambling to post things. And generally they were not the best posts, and the whole experience for myself and my followers was a little suboptimal. Now, I use Later to schedule out my social media posts, but my biggest problem was that I didn't have great systems and processes around the generation of ideas for content and the creation of the content. I have tried so many things: Notion, Google Spreadsheet, Google Word Doc. I even tried using old-fashioned technology of pen and paper and having a notebook with it all. And just every time I tried something, it just wasn't working. It wasn't sustainable, and also I wasn't seeing the results that I was wanting from it, partly because the content wasn't that great, but because I was also always in a bit of a shambles when I was putting it together. And then over the Christmas break, actually just before, my family got COVID, and so that really put an end to the whole social media thing for 2023. I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and was like, I'll deal with it in 2024. I was very much feeling like a slave to social media, and I just didn't like that feeling. And that partly had to do with because I didn't have good systems and processes in place. And so over the break, I reflected on how I really thought about it and what I needed to change in terms of processes to make it work for me. So after a few weeks of thinking about what I wanted from the system and process for social media and how I was going to use it in a way that was sustainable and made my life easier, not harder, I have put together a whole heap of folders and lists across Trello and Canva. And so far, it is working well. What became really clear from this whole process is that it's not only important to have systems and processes in place if you want to be successful, whether that's successfully posting regularly on social media or having a succinct way of keeping track of all your tasks to do in your interior design studio, but it is also important to make sure that the platform you use to capture these systems and processes is fit for purpose. It has taken me a lot of trial and error to work out what was going to be the best system for me and social media. My goodness, so much time I have spent on this over the last 12 months. This trial and error helped me work out what is the best system for what I am trying to achieve. And for that system to work, it needed to be easy to use, it needed to be functional, it needed to be consistent, and it needed to have a little level of flexibility. Sometimes when we are learning a new system, it's not always straightforward. But being very clear on not just the purpose, but the goals you're wanting to achieve by implementing the system can make it easier to select the right platform to run the system and process on, and can make it easier to stick to when you are learning. It was really easy for me to work out what platform was going to work for me with my social media, because I was very clear on what the platform needed to help me achieve. One of the other things that I wanted out of my new social media setup was that it wasn't something I had to keep changing the layout of or tweaking, because this tweaking can eat up a lot of valuable time. I am sure you know what I mean. I know when I used to build my client schedules in Excel, I almost redesigned my schedule on every project. Not major redesigns, but just tweaking here and there. These changes were good improvements, but the reality is that all of these changes, setting it up and making sure that it all worked, that the formulas were right, all of that is actually very time consuming, and it just meant that this time I was spending doing a really very repetitive task, I was taking that out of every project. And time is money, and so it was costing me money and time to do that on every project. And it is amazing to seeing all of these little bits of time. I thought they were little bits of time, but really, they really do add up. Getting back all of those little bits of time into my schedule, because I'm building my client schedules in more time to design. It's almost plug and play, and I am working really efficiently. The reason why this works so well is because the purpose and goals of More Time to Design is aligned with my studio's purpose and goals. As I'm implementing my new social media system, I am definitely a bit slower than I would like to be, as I'm still learning how it all works together. But I am already seeing the benefits of the system, which makes it a lot easier to stick to. So, to recap, what are some of the things you should think about if you are implementing a new system in your business? Firstly, take the time to make sure the platform is aligned with the purpose and goals that you are trying to achieve by implementing the platform. Secondly, take some time before you pick a platform to work out what it exactly is that you want from it and what are you trying to achieve. And thirdly, be kind to yourself and allocate time to learn the new system. Just like any new skill, implementing a new platform or process into your business can take a little bit of time to get up and running. I hope you have found this episode helpful, and if you have any questions about More Time to Design and how it can help you in your studio, please do reach out. I love hearing from designers and helping them build better businesses. I'll see you next week for our next Design Dialogue. Want to simplify the way you run your design studio? Learn how to organize your day, your desk, and your studio with More Time to Design, a cloud-based studio and project management platform built by an interior designer for interior designers. Make sure to book in a demonstration or start your free 30-day trial today. Follow the links in our show notes or head over to the More Time to Design website. Thank you for listening to this Design Dialogue. I hope you have found it full of inspiration and helpful information to take into your design studio. If you like the podcast and want to hear more, consider sharing it or writing a review, as it helps us reach more people, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you would like to unlock the power of effortless studio management and elevate your design business to new heights, please follow the links in our show notes to see how More Time to Design can help you build a better business. Have a great week, and I will see you for our next Design Dialogue.